Welcome to Mind Decoded, where we explore the psychology behind human behavior. Let's decode today's topic. You sit down to work on something important, a strategic document, a complex problem, creative work that requires real thinking. You open your laptop, then you check your email. Just for a second, 20 minutes later, you're deep in your inbox. Someone messages you. You respond. Another email arrives. 30 minutes have passed and you haven't written a single word. You try again. You start writing 2 sentences. Then a notification pops up. You check it. Now you've lost your train of thought. This happens all day. You're constantly busy. But at the end of the day, the important work still isn't done. The shallow tasks consumed your time. The deep work never happened. This is the productivity crisis of modern knowledge work. We've optimized for being busy. We've destroyed our capacity for being focused. And the work that actually matters, the work that requires sustained concentration, is becoming impossible. Today on Mind Decoded, we're exploring deep work. What it actually means in your brain. Why most people never achieve it. The specific conditions required for genuine focus. And how to build the capacity for deep work in a world engineered to destroy your attention. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This content is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered medical, psychological, or mental health advice. If you're experiencing mental health concerns, please consult with a qualified mental health professional. Let's start by defining deep work. Computer scientist Cal Newport defines it as professional activities performed in distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. Deep work is not multitasking. It's singular focus on one cognitively demanding task for an extended period. Here's what happens in your brain. Your prefrontal cortex fully engages with the task. Working memory loads relevant information. Your default mode network quiets. You enter sustained attention where irrelevant information is suppressed. This allows you to hold complex ideas simultaneously, to see non-obvious connections, to push through difficult problems, to produce genuinely valuable work. But achieving this state requires specific conditions, and modern work environments systematically prevent these conditions from existing. First, deep work requires uninterrupted time. Research shows it takes approximately 23 minutes to fully engage with a complex task. Your brain needs time to load context, suppress distractions, and build momentum. Every interruption resets this process. One Slack message, one email notification, one phone buzz, and you're back to zero. You have to rebuild focus from scratch. Most knowledge workers are interrupted every 3 to 5 minutes. They literally never reach the deep work state. They spend their entire day in a shallow, fragmented attention mode. Second, deep work requires elimination of context switching. When you switch from writing to email to Slack to a meeting back to writing, each switch carries what researchers call attention residue. Part of your attention stays stuck on the previous task. Sophie Leroy found that when you switch tasks, your brain doesn't immediately shift full attention to the new task. Residue from the old task lingers, reducing your cognitive capacity. If you're constantly switching contexts, you're always operating with reduced capacity. You never access your full cognitive abilities. Third, deep work requires effort. Your brain defaults to easy tasks. Checking email feels productive but requires minimal cognition. Writing a strategic document is hard. Your brain resists hard work. Without deliberate systems to protect deep work time, shallow work will always win. It's easier. It provides immediate feedback. It creates the feeling of productivity without the actual cognitive load. Here's why deep work matters economically. The most valuable work you do is almost certainly deep work. Strategic thinking, complex problem solving, creative production, skill development. Shallow work, responding to emails and messages and routine tasks, is necessary but low value. Anyone can do it. It doesn't differentiate you. It doesn't produce breakthrough results. Cal Newport argues that the ability to perform deep work is becoming simultaneously more rare and more valuable. As more people lose the capacity for sustained focus, those who maintain it have an enormous competitive advantage. So how do you build deep work capacity? Here's the framework. Schedule deep work blocks. Don't wait for free time. Block time on your calendar. Treat these blocks as seriously as meetings. Start with 90-minute blocks. Eliminate all distractions. Close all applications except what's essential. Put your phone in another room. Use website blockers if necessary. Tell colleagues you're unavailable. Start sessions with clear goals. Not, work on project, but, write introduction section, or, solve data analysis problem. Your brain needs specific targets. Build a shutdown ritual. At the end, review what you accomplished and capture next steps. This helps your brain transition and prevents intrusive thoughts. Gradually increase duration. If 90 minutes feels impossible, start with 30. Build cognitive endurance. Now let's talk about the challenges you'll face. The first few deep work sessions will feel extremely difficult. Your brain is accustomed to constant stimulation. When you remove that stimulation, you'll experience discomfort. You'll feel bored. You'll want to check your phone. You'll think of urgent emails you need to send. These urges are withdrawal symptoms. Your brain is addicted to distraction. Researcher Gloria Mark found that knowledge workers check email and messaging apps approximately every 6 minutes. That's not because important messages arrive every 6 minutes. It's compulsion. Resist the urge. Sit with the discomfort. Your brain will adapt. After 2 weeks of consistent deep work practice, the discomfort reduces significantly. Another challenge is organizational resistance. Many workplaces expect instant responsiveness. Being unreachable for 90 minutes might violate implicit norms. Communicate proactively. Tell your team you're blocking focus time. Set expectations about response delays. Most reasonable managers will support deep work once they understand the productivity gains. Here's what deep work doesn't mean. It doesn't mean working longer hours. You might actually work fewer total hours but accomplish more valuable output. It doesn't mean ignoring all shallow work. Email and communication are necessary. The key is containing them. Schedule specific times for shallow work. Don't let shallow work interrupt deep work. It doesn't mean deep work every hour of every day. Even high performers typically manage 3 to 4 hours of genuine deep work daily. That's enough to produce extraordinary results. Now let's talk about what makes deep work impossible. Open office layouts destroy deep work capacity. Constant visual and auditory distractions prevent sustained focus. Always-on communication culture makes deep work unsustainable. If your organization expects responses within minutes, deep work can't happen. Meetings fragmented throughout the day eliminate the possibility of deep work blocks. One meeting at 10 a.m. and another at 2 p.m. means you never have sufficient uninterrupted time. If you're in an environment that structurally prevents deep work, you have limited options. You can advocate for change. You can protect early mornings or evenings for deep work. Or you might need to consider whether this environment aligns with your goals. Here's a framework for evaluating your deep work capacity. Track 1 week. Every 30 minutes, note whether you're doing deep work or shallow work. Deep work requires sustained focus on cognitively demanding tasks. Shallow work is email, messages, routine tasks, meetings about meetings. Most knowledge workers discover they're doing less than 5% deep work. 95% or more of their time is shallow. If you're serious about valuable output, this ratio needs to invert. Aim for 30 to 40% deep work. The productivity difference is dramatic. You're not failing at focus because you lack willpower. You're failing because you're operating in an environment designed to fragment attention. Deep work is a skill you can build, but it requires deliberately creating conditions that modern work environments actively prevent. Protecting your cognitive capacity is protecting your most valuable resource. Your brain's ability to focus deeply is what produces work that matters. Everything else is just busy work disguised as productivity. Next time on Mind Decoded, we're exploring a specific focus technique that's both incredibly simple and surprisingly effective. The Pomodoro technique. Why working in 25-minute sprints with breaks works neurologically. How to actually implement it without it feeling artificial. And why the timer is less important than what happens between sessions. Don't miss it. And that's how the mind works. If this helped you understand yourself better, subscribe for weekly psychology insights. Thanks for watching.